Howdy guys, welcome back. It's been a while actually since I've worked on this car. I've been driving the Escort everywhere. Yeah, it's now I've got the Escort on the road. I'll have a day off work and I walk outside and I'll see the Escort sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I've got to drive that. That's so awesome. But I've been having a few problems with the Escort, just teething issues, trying to get everything to work together. But I'll get onto that soon. I'll get some footage of the car and go for a drive and show you what it's about. But from where I left off with the Falcon, I've done all up in here. Back of the car's done. So yeah, I've got to sort of have to think about where I'm at to, but how far along I am. But what I'll do now, I'll flip the car over, and this dog is obsessed with playing fetch. Lucy, she just will not stop. Here you go, go on. So yeah, flip her over now and have a look underneath. You'll sit there all day, won't you? So yeah, I'm just looking over this. I showed you how I done this in the previous video, but the idea is to do the back of the car and just move forward, work my way along. But you can see, like, you know, mad gaps like here, all around here. Welds that need cleaning up. All up in here. It's pretty dramatic, some of the work that's done in this car. So yeah, it's great having this rotisserie. It makes life so much easier to work on the car whilst it's easy to access. It's crazy, I haven't even taken the old bushes out. Oh, they're coming out. Yeah, so a lot of things that need to be done, but so I thought I'd start on here. So I put some weld up in here, strengthen that up, and I put little tacks across here. I know it's welded through there, but I thought I might as well put a bit of weld through there. I'll clean this up. I've made it all straight again, straight-ish. But yeah, I'll work my way along and do all up in here. My father's got this Honda motor, 11 horsepower. It's been sitting around for like 10 years or more. He decided to get it going. He's pretty excited. Been welding. So yeah, all that Struts back, welded all up in here, and in here there's a little bit of a gap, so you can't get in behind it to. I drill out the spot welds when I put this in, but yeah, so I just had to weld across here like so, and over here, weld the spot welds in where I drilled them out in there, because all this here, this part of the structure is all original, so we had to cut the chassis out from behind it. Mammoth job, not fun at all. So you had to cut around here and then get from behind it and get rid of the spot welds, but it's pretty much rusted out anyway. And yeah, so welds up in here. Yeah, all this is basically all this whole section here is out of a sedan. So yeah, there's the joint here going across here. This dog will not stop. Oh. So what I'm thinking, I need to get in here and dress back these welds. They look like shit, so I'll have to remove this thing. I'll have to yeah, look for the spot welds. You can see this whole section here, this whole floor, yeah, this whole section come out of the sedan, so there's a lot of welding. This here's turned up pretty bad. I'd say someone's put a jack in the incorrect spot and yeah, pushed it in, so I'll try to pull it out. It's not going to be perfect, so I'll put that big nut on there and then I'll use the slide hammer here and see if I can pull it out a bit. So, fully registered. I'm having dramas. The ECU that I got with it, it's called ME221, it's made in the UK. It's a great computer for running like naturally aspirated, but when it comes to turbocharging, it just hasn't got enough pinouts. So I've got a boost controller down here, and I used to have an idle air control here, but I just haven't got enough pinouts in the ECU to run that. So there's other things too, like it's running 30 pounds of boost, which is a lot. So when the fuel pumps cuts out or something happens, I'm not going to know about it. It's just going to torch the motor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a Haltech 1500 ECU from, I'll just go for a Haltech in Sydney, and I've spoke to sales there and they're really good. So I'll get that ECU, then I can do more with it. But we'll go for a drive. Yeah, so she's nice to drive. She's nice to drive in like 60 zones, 80 zones. Once you get up to around 100, the gear ratio, the diff ratio is not the best. When you're doing about 110, the engine's revving at about 3,700 RPM, which is yeah, it's not very good. But a lot of 4 cylinders back in the day, they rev pretty hard doing 100. So I think what makes it worse, I've got what they call a World Cup cross member, and it's got these really small rubber polyurethane bushes, and they don't take much of the vibrations out of the motor, so you get a vibration right through the car. So yeah, it's not the best. I got up ahead here, I've seen that there's a Ford Mustang. It looks like a club car. It's got a decals up the side. I was hoping to catch up to him, have a bit of play, but can't really drive fast anyway. You got speed limits, the road gets wet, and yeah, this thing gets really skating when it's wet. It kicks out really quickly. It's not like a Falcon or a Commodore and that. But yeah, she goes really well. It picks up really quick. So we're doing about 2.5 grand. Put your foot to the floor. Yeah, it picks up real quick. Yeah, it's fun to drive. I took the car to this. I joined this Hunter British Ford group, Hunter Valley here, and they got 2 main mechanics to do all the inspections for the club cars. And I had this car looked at to make sure, you know, see what he thinks about it, because he races these professionally and that. And yeah, I told him to take the car for a drive, give it a shake up, see what he thinks. And he straight up rang me up and he goes, mate, you need to do some work to this car. So in a rod for the steering rack, one of them's got a bit of wear on it, and the bushes that go from the sway bar through the control arm, those bushes have got a wear, so I've got to replace them. But I'm just waiting on stuff to turn up in the mail. turbo's loud, it just sings. Sounds really good. Come on the expressway here, it's 110 zone, so I'll be able to get a little bit, but just step on it in first gear or it'll just step out on you. That's what I'll do. Go to first gear, just feed the power on slowly. Yep. See? Yeah, she goes good. The speedo's a little bit out. Close this window. As you can see, it revs pretty hard. So I'm doing 110 now. Yeah, she's revving. Taco's moving around a bit. Don't know what's going on there. Yeah. It gets a lot of attention because there's not many of these around anymore, I guess. Took this car to get looked at by this Grant Munro. He said that I'm running the factory M16 calipers on this, which I had reconditioned, and brand new factory solid rotors. He said they're not really, those brakes really aren't any good for the performance this engine's putting out, because I was going to take this to Sydney Dragway on a Wednesday night and just give it a brap down the straight, you know, have some fun in it. But yeah, he said, no way, mate, you wouldn't be doing 200 kilometres an hour in this thing and then expecting it to stop. It'll do it, but yeah, so what I've done, I've got on the Burton power in the UK and I just bought ventilated rotors, 4-spot calipers, and I bought new coil over struts in the front because I noticed this driver's side one, it's the retainer nut that holds the shock absorber in the strut, it's actually stripped, so I don't know what the hell's happened there. So rather than trying to cut a new thread or do any fancy stuff, I just bought brand new coilovers from the UK, and yeah, I'm just waiting on them now. I think they must make them to order because yeah, I've been waiting for about a week now and haven't been sent. Just gonna make little improvements to it to make sure it's a little safer. The exhaust side needs to be that little bit bigger. It spools up really early, which is great for the street, but when it comes to drag racing, I think this turbo's, you know, it'd be great for a manual car. Being an auto, yeah, this car, you could really do it for a bigger exhaust housing. But I'm happy with the car for now. I'll just enjoy it. Going to fix up some of the steering issues and front suspension. gearbox, C4 automatic, manualised. Yeah, had to get that rebuilt again. The original person, the shop I bought it from, it wasn't put together properly. It's put together probably by an apprentice, and one of the bands was too tight, and I was none the wiser. And when I was in neutral or park, you'd rev it, and you'd sound like the motor was under load, and actually, yeah, fried the fluid. It fried the fluid in it, so I had to get it rebuilt again, and all these other dramas with it. Sweet now. I had to get the diff rebuilt. I got gears off eBay, and I found out later from talking to people that you generally try to avoid the cheap eBay diff gears because they can whine. So I took a chance of that, and they did say in the eBay listing, the information that said that the gears will whine a bit, and it does that, but it's alright. You know, the C4 transmission has its own little whining sounds, and the diff sort of goes in with it. I'm happy with it, it's fine. I got 3:9:1:1 ratio, so it's great for drag racing, but it's not good for on the open roads. It revs pretty hard, but I'm really going to use this car for just putting around anyway. I'm not going to go any big trips in it. Just a fun little car to run around in town and take it out, roll racing and drag strips and stuff, have fun with it. Take it to Gunnedah in March. A few of my friends are going to race their cars, but a couple of my mates haven't got their cars ready, so their cars aren't ready. I'm not going to worry about it. And I've got to get the front end sorted before I go really fast anyway. I want to get the brakes all sweet. Yes, I've just got home, and yeah, the unreal. The temperature gets up to probably the first white line when I'm going for the drive-through, and yeah, the oil pressure is sweet. Yeah, always been a little bit worried because I built this motor, and yeah, it's under a lot of stress. And yeah, it's not a Cosworth motor or a proper racing motor. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just an old Ford Focus motor, and yeah, it's just going sweet. So I'll just have my Maccas now, and I'll get back into it. Flip the car over now. No matter how many times I do this, I still get damn nervous. Here at Falcon, that's the boot lead moving around. That's what I'll do. I'll get down in these little areas now, get all in here. I can even sit on the stool doing it, so it's pretty good. I'll have to put some work pants on and some boots, because yeah, I'm going to get burned. I've done heaps of welding underneath the car. Now I'm going to weld this outer cell to the inner cell. My brother helped me out with this side, so I think he done some of the welds to get it together. I don't really remember how he done it, but I weld this completely together off the car, and then I stuck it in complete. Yeah, I'm not sure. He may have welded from the inside to get to the inner parts in here. I don't know, but doesn't matter. I'll just weld them up now. Put a heap of weld in there, and I fixed these things back in. My brother took them off to do the top box, so all this is new. Another good day to be working on the tools. Raining. Humidity gets up pretty high, but but I'll just turn the fan on. It's all good. So I'll flip the car inside, doing underneath here again. Yeah, I've just been going over where I've welded the floor up and I'm cleaning up the welds, finding little spots to clean up. Yeah, just moving along, but I'm at the point now where this has to be stripped back properly, like it's all just still got a bit of underbody still on it, because it's definitely got to clean under here when it was on the trolley. But, so I've got this problem here where this car's been rallied really badly. We can see like the extent of the damage. So this here will need to be removed. I'll have to get on the internet and buy another one of these. But before I do that, I've got to fix this up. So I was thinking about cutting a line where the seam or the bend would have been, and then straightening this out and put a new section in there. But I thought, you know what, I might as well get on the it on eBay and see what sort of things I can find. So I found this puller. So I reckon that'll do it. So it welds little it welds on these little like steel rods, and then you can just use the puller, latch onto it and pull it out. But you got all different sort of attachments, hooks and stuff. So yeah, that was $186, $187. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good, you know. So I'll give that a go. I don't know how I'm going to go, because it mightn't be able to do it, but it'd be better if I can pull this out rather than having to cut it and that, because once I cut that out, I have to make sure it doesn't rust out from the back of it either. But once that's done, I probably won't be able to do that anyway at the moment, because I wait for that pull to turn up. But what I might do is cut this floor out. I've got a new section around here somewhere to put in there. Yeah, so I've got this section here. So what I'll need to do, work out exactly what area needs to be cut out as little as possible. Then yeah, so basically just cut along here where the chassis rail is. Then yeah, remove sections behind that, so this is all exposed. And yeah, just put the new section in. But it's pretty straightforward. It's one of the easier jobs really. So it's a lot easier to access it from in this point. So I can see the extent of the rust. I think I'll probably cut right back to here. Because it's one thing cutting it out, but you have to make sure that where you're going to weld the seam up, you have to make sure that the original metal's thick enough to be welded along, because if it doesn't, it just keeps blowing out and it turns into a crap load of work. But, yeah, it's come along pretty good. Yeah, so I've cut it out. I ended up doing what I've done in the past, get some pliers, and you get the and just sort of you twist it off, it breaks off with the spot welds, and then you're left with a bit of chassis rail to do work on. So I'll have to put a little section in here. It's rusted out. Once I've done that, I have to dress all this back and get a nice clean surface, edges, good sharp, like clean edges to weld onto. Get rid of paint on them. So notice this paint, this epoxy, when you weld on it, oh, it's toxic. Gives me wicked hay fever. Then I'll use the copper spray, weld-free primer, put it all in here, put black in there, seal it up a bit. And yeah, I should be able to start putting this new patch in. Hoping this rain holds off. I'm liking the cool weather, but tonight I want to go to Sydney Motorsport Park. They've got their roll racing on. I went there a couple of weeks ago and watching the Evos and GDRs and Barras and all sorts of high-powered cars, and yeah, it was really inspiring going down and watching those cars. But yeah, obviously this car's never going to be in that league. I don't intend to make it that fast. This thing, I just want to make it sort of back to factory, nice set of wheels on it. But I was thinking about taking the Escort down to roll racing and giving it a run, but even it's too slow really. Like it's not always about how fast your car goes. Like you go there to compete, but it's more or less, you know, go there, have a bit of fun. But yeah, hopefully I can go there tonight and watch that. But I think the rain's worse here than it is in Sydney. So I have to wait. Check the updates on Facebook and hopefully it's still on. Another good day for working on the car. Nice and cool. When I took this car in the Brankston mechanical and had it checked out by a guy that races these, and he brought up a number of issues that need to be resolved for the car, and one of them being the inner tie rod. So you got your outer tie rod, but this inner one has got severe wear on it, and on top of that, the bushes that go through that control arm, majorly, like they're new, but I haven't got the proper washers. So they seem like they're loose, but they're not. Just haven't got the proper washers to make the bush nice and tight. So there was that issue, and he said these factory M16 calipers, Girling, they're a good caliper, nothing wrong with them, but he said for the amount of power this engine's putting out, and you know the speeds I'll be getting up to when I drag race and stuff, it'd be a good idea to upgrade it. So what I've done, I got on a Burton Power in the UK, and they've got a lot of parts, numerous parts you can get for these cars. It's pricey, but you get good product in my experience, and when you order stuff you get it quickly. So I've been going through Burton Power and motorsport.tools.com. I think that's another shop place in the UK, but yeah, it's who I've been getting all my stuff off. So I got online and got on the Burton website, and I just went apeshit and bought heaps of stuff. So I bought ventilated calipers, ventilated rotors. Bought them, and I stuffed up actually. I bought 2 sets accidentally. Don't know how, but got that, and I bought coilovers. So you buy the coilovers by themselves. It's got adjustable depth too, so really good. And yeah, I bought the coils separately, and I bought these. The roller tops in the car now, they're the factory Escort ones, and they bind up. They're shit. So I bought these roll bearing type. And I got these adapters. Adapt them to this strut. And I bought these 4-spot calipers. They're basically an M16 factory replacement, so you bowl them straight up, and they use different pads than that, as far as I know, but they're heaps lighter. So yeah, I haven't got the proper adapter to adapt my brake line to it, so I've just had to order that again. But when it comes to Burton, you can buy stuff from them, and it gets here way quicker than any Australian seller gets it to me in that amount of time. I think they go for a different courier, but got that. I got this new knuckle, steering knuckle. The one I had it's the original. It's like a rubber thing, but it's crap. I knew it wasn't much good. I just couldn't find one long enough. Past, I got these Nolafane bushes for the sway bar to go through the control arms. Should work good. Then for the brake pads, I've got this. I call it red stuff. They're like a road race sort of pad. But yeah, they should bite in heaps better, because at the moment, believe it or not, I cannot lock the brakes up for the life of me. I stand on the brakes, cannot lock them up. So yeah, I reckon this upgrading the brakes is going to make all the difference, I reckon. If it doesn't, well, yeah, I'm just going to have to look at the master cylinder and brake booster and look at that setup. But I've had it lock up in the past. I think I might. It's probably because I'm running these cheapo pads on it, which probably doesn't help. So today's mission: drop the front end, replace it all, and once I get the adapters in for the brake line to the caliper, and then I'll be on the home run then. But I went to roll racing Saturday night, and I went roll racing probably about 2-3 weeks before that, and I got really inspired by some of the cars racing there, and I thought, why not get a bigger turbo for this? So I've been looking at doing this for a while, because this turbo's, it's sitting at 30 pounds of boost at the moment. Like, it's, can't get anything more out of it. The car's great, goes really well, like it spools up great, perfectly good turbo. But what concerns me on these Escorts, like, it's a very tight area and it gets really hot. I've noticed some of the plastics down here, might be able to see it down there, but it's starting to melt a bit. So I'm thinking, if I get a bigger turbo, I could run like a low boost setting for the road. So at the moment I'm currently getting about 280 horsepower at the wheels, but that's debatable, because apparently I'm talking to some of the Evo boys, and they reckon the fella at Tune there, Benchmark, his dyno, it reads a little bit lower than the rest of them. Don't know if it's true, but apparently some dynos read less or more than others. But currently 280 horsepower at the wheels for that turbo, running 30 pounds of boost. I'm hoping that if I could drop the boost to say 18-20 pound and get around the same amount of power at a bigger turbo, and then have another boost setting for like all that race. And then I was looking at getting the Haltech Elite 1500 and then getting drive-by-wire throttle body, get rid of that completely. Thinking about it anyway. I'm not going to upgrade the turbo anytime soon, but yeah, looking into my options. Do that, and yeah, that'll be less heat then from running less boost. But I went out and bought the turbo anyway, could help myself. So I've got this G30. So the current turbo on the car now is a G25 660, 0.72 rear housing. This one here is G30. So you got the front housing 770, which is yeah, quite a bit bigger. The exhaust side's the G30 wheel, and it's in 83. So it flows that little bit more, the 83 AR, but it flows that little bit more. And yeah, it's not dramatically that much bigger, but when you compare it, yeah, it's quite a bit, like the intake side of it is a lot bigger. But the best part is it's got the V-band flanges, so it's pretty much, that'll bolt straight up to the manifold, exhaust manifold, and then I'll probably have to make another dump. I don't know how it'll go lining up with that. Like, it's the same fitting and that, but I may have to change it. I don't know, see how it'll go. But I just wanted to buy the turbo, put it aside, and worry about it another time. But it's good to have it sitting there. I know I've got it, because I noticed when I got onto the Sydney GCG turbos, it was like a 6-week wait just to get this turbo ordered in from the States. So I thought I'll jump on this while it's there. It's at the right price. And I had to pull up work on the coupe. I've been working on the coupe and sort of putting the Escort aside as usual. But yeah, it's got to the point now where I've got the parts required to get this car finished, get it back out of the shed. Then I'll keep doing this floor. Got the section in there. It's all in there. Just a matter of welding it in. As usual, run into dramas. This car, trying to replace these inner rods, and I can't get that undone. The biggest problem is I haven't got a proper vise set up. So Yeah, here's the replacement ones. So rather than waste my time and make more of a mess, because already pretty bolted up as it is. Someone's replaced them before, but I'll just take the boot off and the ball joints. I'll take the rack in to the mechanic and I'll get them to do the work. So I went to the mechanic. Yeah, the fella who is all over these, he knows a lot about these Escorts and he races them and stuff, and he advised me to replace one of the this inner tie rod end. So I bought the two of them. Thought I might as well do both at the same time. So yeah, he's had a look at this and he's gone to check it, and he said, mate, there's nothing wrong with these. They're really tight, like they're good. And I thought, well, I said, mate, I don't know, because when I pulled the boot off, all this plastic crap, all this stuff fell out of it. So I assumed that may have come in from the inner rod here. So turns out there's a bush in here. So you can see here, it's got heaps of slop in it. So there's no way that's going to work. So there's this place in Melbourne called Yesterford. This is a local Australian supplier of a lot of Escort stuff. And yeah, the mechanic said that they're likely to have the bush that goes in here, and then that'll be sweet. But then when he's looked into it further, when you go to turn this, it sort of binds up a little bit. Probably needs a good clean out and re-greasing and that maybe, but yeah, I thought, you know what, if I'm going to go to the trouble, I'll put a new bush in here, then while he's at it, he's going to have to pull that off, so he's going to replace both of these inner rods. So yeah, the amount of time, I could do it myself, quite capable, but I got to the point and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy another one. So I just went for a Yesterford and I bought a brand new rack. This is 2.4 ratio, so 2.4 turns lock to lock, so it's more for a race car really, but it's pretty, the steering gets pretty heavy in car parks and that. But so I bought a brand new rack, bought a reconditioned coupler because this one's too short, pain in the ass. So yeah, I bought a reconditioned one of them. It's got the new bush in here, well they call it a disc, so it's got new ones in them. And right, I got that sorted, so the rack's on its way. And then I put this coil over strut in, which looks absolutely amazing. I was hoping to put the car on the ground today, put the wheels on it, because it's going to sit really low and I want to get some nice photos. But I went to put this hub on, and yeah, it turns out that this bearing won't clear this stub axle. So what I've had to get back onto Bird and Power in the UK and bought new wall bearing kit, new grease cover cap, new nut, retainment nut, bought the whole lot. So there's another $200. And then I was looking at this coil over and I'm like, where's the arm that comes off it for the tire, for the steering rack? So I had a look at the factory 2-litre struts, and yeah, they got this big arm coming off it for the steering. So what? That's something's not right there. So I got back onto the Burton Power, and yeah, you're meant to buy an arm, because when you look at the stuff you're going to buy, like for example, when you look at the coilover, it's got additional items that I might be interested in, but they're pretty much critical stuff that you need. I wasn't aware of, so I've had to buy that arm. It bolts onto the back of this and comes out for the steering rack, so I've got that on its way. So yeah, it's always there's always some sort of drama when it comes to doing major repairs on this car, because you got the Australian Escort models, then you got the UK models, and some of the things are different, and as you go through the years of cars, things sort of change. So apparently there's 2 different versions of steering racks for these, so I'm likely to have the early, because this is a 75 model, so very like the first Mark IIs that come out. And yeah, so yeah, I've just got to, once all that stuff turns up, put it all back together, and hopefully I can go on a club run, or a group of these little Fords, we all get together and go for a nice drive. It got this little sticker. Got them off eBay. Pretty good. You just tell them the sticker you want, the size and everything, and I ordered 4 of them for $23 and 8 of them turned up, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, once I get this stuff sorted, this car, I'll get back to work on the coupe. That's what I'm really keen to work on. Hoping to have the Escort sorted today. It's not going to happen. I got on Bird and Parent, bought more stuff I needed. I tried to fit the Escort's original hub back on and the bearings wouldn't clear the stub axle. So I jumped onto Bird and I bought new wheel bearings, and then I went to try to install the wheel bearings into this hub and they are way bigger. So I'm like, you're gotta be joking. The best part is you buy stuff from Bird and it gets here real quick. So what I've done, cut the crap, I just bought brand new remanufactured aluminium hubs, because there's a bit of a difference sometimes between English Escorts and Australian ones. And English RSs, RS2000s, RS1800s had bigger wheel bearings. So all I'm basically doing now is getting another hub so I can fit the new bearings. Then I can fit the rest of it up. But yeah, I've got the coilovers in. They're absolutely beautiful. It's going to be really good when it's done. So rather than waste me time waiting around for the parts to turn up on this car, I'll get back to work on the coupe. So yeah, what I've got here, right, I've got this damage here. So I bought this kit off eBay. So I've got all these different tips. So what I'll do, I've never used one of these before, and there's not really much for the instructions. It's the one piece of paper. But from what I can gather, you just put these in it, hit the trigger, and it welds itself onto the area you want to work on. So what I'll do now, I'll just dress this back, get that all nice and clean. I don't know how this is going to go because, yeah, they don't look very strong. Might also try it. Yeah, next method, yeah, is cutting it all open and stuff, but I'll see how it goes. I had a go at it. Got these little rods, welded it on just there, and then when I tried pulling it out, I had a problem with the rods trying to slip out of this slide hammer. So I used a shifter, I tightened it up really tight, and then got to the point where I'm pulling that hard, I literally pulled the hole where it was welded on and just made a hole. So yeah, not surprised really. The metal's not that thick, it's just the angle it's on. It's taken a really good whack. So I've got these other types, other types. I might just try them out, but yeah, it's looking like I can use that. It's looking like a bit of a high probability that it's just too strong. It'd be brilliant for like pulling dents out of the outer panels and that, but yeah, this sort of stuff. Can only try it, but actually I don't know if this will even work because of the angle. It'll go on there and then the angles will be all messed up. Yeah, I reckon the best way, yeah, just have to cut it out. Mark a line and cut it out, straighten it all up and then put a new section in. I want this to be pretty good because it's got the seatbelt hole there and it's got like an inner sleeve. I've got to the point where I've turned the amps right up and I've welded on one of these little washers they supplied. I tried using those suckers. It just it just keeps pulling, making holes. It's that strong. So this is my last resort with this tool. Can't get it to work this time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it open. Nah, fail. It just comes straight off. So yeah. Oh well, nice try. Be able to use this on. I don't really need this now, really. Like most of the stuff on the car, the dents I can get to off the inside, but I guess I'll have to restore another car after this one, so I can use this tool. Yeah, so I've cut it open. I'm just trying to pull out these dents. I managed to get this reasonably straight, but yeah, tried pulling in there. It's too strong. And if I put a bit of heat into it, that might work, but it's also gonna weaken where I want to weld, or where the weld is. So yeah, I'll have to just do the best I can, but at the end of the day, it's under the car, no one's going to see it, but you know, I'll try pulling this bit out. So I ended up getting the section that I cut out, and I used a dolly in that, and I flattened it out best I could, which is perfectly flat again, and put it back in its original spot, then made it all marry up again and welded in. It's not 100% perfect here, but I don't really care. It's never going to see it, and it's the idea of it is to get its strength back, you know, get the right shape, so all that's in the right spot. This is not a good look having a seatbelt bolt coming through here, and this is all bent out of shape. So yeah, now it's got its strength. I've welded all this up, so that was all ripped. That was ripped open before. So yeah, next part will I've got this new floor in here. I just got to cut it and I'll get it so it marries up perfectly with the edges. But run out of time today. I'm back to work tomorrow, so yeah, pull it up. Hopefully this stuff for the Escort turns up the next few days. Well, today's Tuesday, so it usually takes about 3 days for the stuff to turn up. So yeah, I won't have it by the weekend, unfortunately. It sucks, but that's the way it is. Can't do nothing about it. But yeah, I'll wrap it up for this video. I didn't realise how, as I go along, I edit the video and add stuff to it and sort of bunch all the little videos up into one, and it's getting almost up to 50 minutes, so I think I'm going to be testing people's patience. Because usually I do videos straight on the Falcon. I do much of the sort of both cars, so yeah, don't know if anyone will really like it, but so yeah, I've got this brand new steering rack for the Escort. Absolutely mint. New 4-spot calipers. So yeah, all I have to do now is wait for the hubs to turn up, the aluminium ones. Then I could fit them up and yeah, this car will be done. But I'm really spewing, like, basically this car, I've just been driving it around by myself with my son, and haven't really been doing anything with it because the front end has heaps of wear in it, like bushes and stuff. So I've been planning to do this for a long time, but it wasn't part of the plan to have all the bushes or things not to work together. So I was hoping on Saturday, I got this Facebook group, they got XR5s and new RS Focuses. Yeah, there's a group of them going for a big run, and it's not just park your car at a, you know, a coffee shop or something like that and look at each other's cars. They get out there and actually drive and get out and have a bit of fun, and I was hoping to get this out there because there's not many of these cars around, and I was going to do that on Saturday, go for a run, go for all the winding roads from the mountains up the Hawkesbury River and up that way. But that's not going to happen now. And then on the Sunday I was going to go on the 100 British Ford groups. There's mostly cars like these, but I don't think they really like to, you know, it's more of this, they go for drives, but I don't think they really want to go get into it and that sort of stuff, which doesn't matter, really. I was going to do that on the Saturday, and the Sunday just, yeah, get out there with the old fellas and show the car off and that. But yeah, it's not going to happen now, but I think what I'll do, I'll just get stuck into the Falcon, get heaps done, but there's always a lot of work to do in this car, but slowly getting there. So I'll wrap it up for these videos, and I'll do another one soon.